You ready to? Welcome back, everyone, to the next level here at PAX Prime, and I am joined by Spike from Warner Brothers. How are you doing today, sir?
Really well. Thank you very much, Kevin, for having me up. How's it going so far?
I cannot wait for Gauntlet to be played. I've been having so much fun with this game. The day has been great so far, though, so why don't you let us know what you do for Warner Brothers?
Sure. So I have the pleasure of managing the community for Gauntlet. As you guys have seen, it's a hack-and-slash adventure game made by Arrowhead, as you all know, of Magicka fame. Yeah, and I get to look after all the cool stuff like this.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what we're going to see today. We know our players are going through a few different levels, but what exactly does that mean?
Sure. So, to set the scene a little bit, if I may, the arrogant young sorcerer Morak has come across this ancient tome which tells him about the Gauntlet, and he has unfortunately trapped himself within it, and what he requires is 4 plucky young adventurers to work their way through each labyrinth and puzzle to set him free. And what we're seeing right now is the first 3 levels from the game, which is out on the 23rd of September.
Awesome, and we're really looking forward to that, but these levels are not all the same. There's completely different objectives for each of those, right?
That's correct. So the cool thing is, I mean, we're going to throw the guys a little bit, I think, but the first level is completely as expected, scripted, really cool, beautiful. You got to work your way through defeating the spawners, destroying the Denzians of the darkness, and try and get out alive, which is pretty tough. The second level, once you've completed that, you then have to escape death. Death itself is following you, and you cannot go toe-to-toe with death. Ooh. So you've got to run and stay alive. It's procedurally generated. No 2 maps are the same. You just got to escape. And then the third level, probably my favorite, is what we call the challenge level. There, you're in one room. There are 4 spawners, tons of monsters, and once again, you have to get out alive.
Wow. Okay, so completely different objectives, and this is not going to be a very sane experience. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be nuts, and I'm really looking forward to it. So now, something about this, though. This is a co-op game, but these players are not going to be playing in a co-op way. So what should these guys be looking out for? What little advantages can they get by trying to smack down their teammates?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, the game is cooperative. When it comes out on Steam, you can either play with 4 controllers, like the guys are doing here, or you can play with your friends online too, which is cool. But what the guys will be doing is, first of all, in order to survive, you need food. Food is good. But you can shoot the food. Don't shoot the food, Kevin. That's rule number 1.
But I need food badly.
Yeah, exactly. We all need food badly. So it's really important that you don't shoot the food. But if you want to, make things a little bit interesting, you can always shoot the food when your friend's just about to grab it. There are spike traps as well, which you can also bait your friend into dying on. And the elixir potion bottles, you can shoot those, killing your friend. So there's loads of cool ways to kill your friend. Not that you'd want to do that, right?
Well, of course not. They absolutely want to do that. So, all right, guys, we're going to jump into the match here. Our tournament is ready. Let's jump into the game, and Spike and I will take you through the action as it happens. So, as we mentioned before, of course, there are 4 completely distinct, unique classes in this game as well. They're all going to play a little bit differently. Could you let us know a bit about each of those?
Sure, absolutely. So the 4 classes are completely different, like you mentioned. First up, we have Thor the Warrior. Thor is big, strong, beefy, like American kind of, I don't know, like jock, right? I guess you'd say.
I like it.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Like you and me, Kevin. We're, he is, he's got this giant axe. His job is basically just get in the front, swing it around as best he can. He's really sort of pure hack and slash. The next character you see on the screen right there is, what we know as the Yellow Wizard, or Merlin is his name. He's actually the most complicated, but also the most fun. He combines different elements into different spells: fire, ice, and lightning. And there's some really cool combos you can pull off with him once you get good, but he's got a very high skill ceiling. Third up, we've got Questor the Elf, who you see there in his green attire and his bow. He's basically Legolas, or that kind of elven character. He dodges around nimbly, he shoots arrows, he drops bombs, he's awesome. And then finally, we have the Valkyrie, Thyra. She is all business. No fun about her at all. She's got a giant shield. She can block anything that comes her way, and she can also throw that shield, Captain America style, bring it back to her, cutting the heads off everyone around. So she's really good fun as well.
Well, there you have it. So as you were mentioning before, the Wizard is a very high skill cap character. I got some chance to play Gauntlet yesterday. I may or may not have stuck around a few extra games just to make sure I got the hang of the wizard. It's awesome once you start to figure it out. You have all these 2-button combinations that you can pull off to give yourself different elemental powers with the wizard, and once you start to figure out strategy of, oh, now I need to protect, you can get in some really, really advanced tactics.
I can see I'm standing next to an expert right now. When you talk like that, I can tell you, you obviously know what you're talking about with Merlin. Yeah, he's great. He's really, really cool. And the other cool thing, we're not going to see it in this session, but when in the full game, you can actually get relics, which you upgrade, and they give you new spells and abilities and powers. So it looks like they're ready to roll, right, Kevin?
Yes, indeed. So let's go ahead and get things started here. We do know a couple of the players already. We do know that Siren's team is going to be on Merlin the Wizard. We do know that Scoots is going to be on Valkyrie. We'll hear the rest of those in just a second, but we are ready to get the competition started. So let's get it launched, and the game is counting down.
1. We are in the Gauntlet. Ooh. So the adventurers need to go through the first door on the left, which is open for them. Once they are through there, the fun shall begin.
So describe this first level a little bit to us. As you mentioned before, it's not one of the procedurally generated ones. It's static, it's beautiful, it's there to kind of introduce you to challenges. But what should our players be looking out for here?
First thing they should be looking out for is gold. Basically, they're not picking up all the gold. They should be picking up gold. Gold equals points. The Valkyrie's doing a great job right there, picking up that gold. She knows what she's doing, definitely.
All right, so Valkyrie grabs some gold there. Now, as you get into this mission, you're obviously going to be fighting many, many, many enemies on screen at once. So you have to kind of bridge this goal of, well, I need to kill more than the other people on my team, but I can't overextend myself and get myself killed. So what are some tips for striking that balance?
That's a really good question. So first of all, we see the spawner right there, right? That's basically, you got to take the spawner down as quickly as you can, but you don't want to you want to send in the warrior or the Valkyrie to do that. You don't want Merlin or Questa trying to go toe-to-toe with the spawner, because they spawn around it and they'll kill you. The team here, they've just unlocked the door, as you see. That's opened up to more mummies, and Thor doing a great job of collecting all the cash. That's really important.
Now, this particular room opened up because they had grabbed a key, and you are forced to do that here so you understand the concept of keys. But the general idea for this game is that you're not going to have enough keys to open every door in the game, so you've really got to choose which one works.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you start playing the maps, you start learning the nuances, you can start speed running them. There are some doors, for example, that you don't have to open, some you can open to skip little bits, and that's when the game gets really rich and rewarding once you get through all that. Here the guys smashing down that spawner. Great job, really easy job there. There's another door they can open. Have they got a key? I don't know, Kevin.
Yeah, I think the Valkyrie does, and looks like she was just waiting there for a little bit, trying to bait some of her teammates.
Thor,
back so
look at Thor's life. It's
damage.
going down really, really quickly. I'm worried he was gonna die there. No, he needs food badly.
Yes, he does need food badly, as a matter of fact. Hopefully his teammates don't shoot his food. No more keys left, so unfortunately they won't be able to work through that right door unless they would grab another key later on and come back. Thor, very smart there, goes up and just grabs food immediately before it can be destroyed.
Absolutely, you've got to be really careful of these bloated mummies, because they go up and they do damage to you, but once you hit them, they have an AoE explosion, and if you're caught in that, that's game over.
And it looks like our players just narrowly avoided getting caught in that. And we have a bunch of spike traps on the field, so what can you do with those?
Yeah, so that's the idea. Get across them as quickly as you can. Obviously, Questor can roll, Valkyrie can shoot through there, but some of the slower characters have difficulty, and like we saw with Thor there, you don't want to be stuck on those spike traps. You will lose health.
It looks like Thor, our warrior, decided to jump right into the fight once again, jumps on top of the spawner, almost loses all of his health again, and unfortunately for him, there's no food to be had through this section.
Thor is going ham. He is really, really working on that. He doesn't care, does he?
And did you just see the Valkyrie there actually shot the elf's barrel that she was holding to potentially have it blow up on her? So a little bit of dirty tactics already from our players.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. When someone's doing the work of carrying the barrel, you can see Thor has actually found a secret door on the left there, which has allowed him to go through, but the rest of the team don't want to join him, it seems.
Okay, so our teammates are moving on now. They are going to start moving into the next rooms. Thor is once again very, very low in health, still going ham, and if he can find a way to snag some food here, he actually has given himself a very nice advantage in terms of kills. He's really jumping in there and being the aggressor in these fights.
Absolutely, and that's what the guys want to do in this challenge. They want to get the kills, but they also need the gold, so it's finding that mix of doing both and not dying, because once they die, it will affect their score. As you see, we've got 3 spawners up here. They have to deal with them quickly. If they don't deal with them quickly, they're going to get overwhelmed very, very fast.
That's right, and interesting tactics here. They weren't actually concentrated on the same spawners, so that actually took their health down very, very far. As you can see, 3 of the 4 members, only Merlin is the exception here, need food badly. As you can see, the elf right there needs to pick something up in just a second.
Absolutely. Thor, I'm super worried about. He's going to go down. He's going to go down. I know it. Questor's just come back to life. Thor is looking low.
That's right, but hasn't died yet. Unfortunately, if he doesn't run in there and do damage, though, he's going to start losing score to the rest of his teammates. Once again, everyone's getting very low. 1 spawner remaining. Thor is just a sliver away from dying and dropping some gold.
Absolutely, they're going to get that last spawner down, deepen it down as quickly as they can. If they can get it down, they'll be fine. They're still last hit. Questor takes it down very good. That's going to give him some nice score. Through, the warrior is desperate for food, and he has found it.
Oh, and Merlin just gets barely in there and steals that second set of food. Heals himself back up to full, but Thor did pick up a little bit of food there, regenning health back up to about 40%. They're attacking another spawner, and the Valkyrie just went ham and paid for it. Unfortunately, dying there and having his gold picked up.
Absolutely. I guess, Kevin, what do you think? Because, you know, it's every man for himself in a way with a challenge, right? So you know, if they deny their comrades food, they're actually bettering their own campaign in the next level.
That's absolutely right. So, and as we see here at the end, that gold, those kills, all of that is going to accumulate and actually create your score at the end. But there are a couple of ways that you can also modify that score, key of which is a crown that everyone is going to be on the lookout for.
Absolutely. I don't think we've seen the crown yet, or not. Or
no.
If we haven't, I have missed it. But yes, there are crowns in here on some certain mummies. And if you pick it up, you wear the crown, you'll get a bonus at the end. But only if you're wearing the crown. If at any time you're hit, it will spill from your clutches, and one of your teammates can pick it up, which will give them the speed boost at the end. So that adds an extra little level of competition as well.
And you can imagine there'll be quite a fight for that here at the end. Now this room is going to get a bit difficult here, as we're going to see spawners pop up everywhere. This is going to need to be a really well-coordinated fight. Thor once again running in there and just tanking damage, but just down to a sliver, in danger of falling again.
Absolutely. Merlin using her spells really, really well at the moment, keeping that barrier up of lightning while doing deeps at the same time. They can also use these 4 jump pads in the middle to get around the room quite quickly. They have to take down that spawner. If they don't take down the spawners, Kevin, I can't stress enough, they're going to really get overwhelmed and it's not going to get good. And there's the crown. Can you see the crown right there?
Yes, I do, and we'll see if anyone goes for it here in just a second. Fortunately, the elf went down. Thor is about to fall once again. 2 spawners are still remaining. The Valkyrie, whoa, dashing the range of that explosion there and staying alive.
Absolutely, looking pretty tense right now. Thor super low again, waiting for the recharge on his special ability. The crown has actually just fallen down the middle chasm, so no one will get that.
Oh, I'm so sad. I was very proud of the fact that in the practice matches that I was playing yesterday, I did capture the crown every time, and I hold it over the head of every coach here who's playing.
That's great. Don't worry, there's a hobbit down there at the bottom who's going to pick that crown up and turn it into his precious. Okay, cool. So they're moving through to the next room. They've got to clear the room before the gate will open. The gate hasn't opened yet, which means they've got to go back a little bit and see what they've missed.
Right, and there we go. Okay, so just one more enemy that had to spawn. He goes down. Oh, and he takes Merlin with him. Single enemy that was left. That's so frustrating.
Absolutely. That's sort of a life bond there between the two. I'm disappointed that crown fell. That would have given them a good 200 points. They've got to get, there's a lot of gold here to get. They've got to get that gold. And here's the exit right here. They're right at the exit. So that was the worst time for Thor to die.
No kidding. And Thor was trying to be a bit greedy there. Run up and steal that stash of gold, but unfortunately pays the price for it.
And Thyra's got the crown. Yeah, she's got the crown. Thyra's got the crown. She goes through. And here are the scores. You'll see what I mean. So on gold, Thyra is ahead.
On Kip, it looks like Thor a little bit.
And there's the crown bonus perfectly. Congratulations to Thyra.
All right, so that is actually Team Scoot taking a win once again. Now, of course, this challenge is not done. We still do have 2 more floors to go after this, but Scoot is looking pretty...
Absolutely. This is quite a cool part in the game. These are the masteries. Just while they're up, I thought I'd mention it. Even if you die, you're still going to increase your character. You're going to get damage resistance. If you drop the crown, you'll get special abilities. So it's quite a cool thing in the game. These masteries make a big difference.
All right, well, we'll see them in effect here in just a second. So walk us through again. This is a level where you have to evade death. Exactly how is this going to work?
Right, the guys are just sort of getting into their comfort zone right now, but there you see the lurk of death behind them. You can see him right there. He's moving behind them, that evil menace behind them. They have to stay ahead of death. They also have to kill the monsters, get the food, and try and stay alive.
So this is a procedurally generated level, but are there any alternate paths they can take to potentially evade death, or is this just a straight race to get out of his way?
It's basically a straight rat run. You just got to keep out of his way and don't get waylaid. But obviously the difficulty here is, especially on the next level, they're trying to go for score as well. So they need the gold, they need the kills to put themselves ahead.
And it looks like our melee characters are getting up there, being very aggressive. Thor takes some damage again, but lands some early kills. Oh, and look at that. Merlin and the elf were ahead, and they snag all of the gold in the room, and they get away without losing that much health. So this little gambit is going to pay off for them.
Absolutely, that's exactly what you got to do. You will notice as well that the portcullis only came down when the monsters had died. So you have to kill the monsters. You have to navigate the spike traps, unfortunately for Merlin.
Yeah, a very nice bait from our Valkyrie there. It popped right up on Merlin, and he died instantly. The elf is very low in health right now, but has been doing a very effective job at grabbing a huge amount of gold over the course of the entire game. So the elf, despite the fact that he's low in health, needs to play a bit more safe right now. Is not in a bad spot.
Absolutely. There's a new mechanic in this room as well. You'll see that that giant mummy there is also carrying the key. So they can't get out of the room with the keys unless they destroy everything in it, which is pretty tough with Death lurking around.
Yeah, no kidding. So Death just circling around, trying to pin them in. Looks like they do have a key, I believe. We'll find out. Thor's about to respawn here in just a second. Death has been quite annoying, though, is knocking on their door. So what are some tactics that they can hopefully employ right now to try and give them an advantage as they're running away from Death?
So they've got to keep ahead of Death, and they've got to keep the mummy count down, and they've got to get the keys. So really, if they're working as a pure team, they'd separate. They'd send some after the keys, some to deal with the regular mummies, and keep away from Death. The best characters to kite Death are Questor the Elf and Thyra the Valkyrie, because their movement is really very good.
Absolutely. I was using the elf yesterday, and that dual-stick shooter feel is just awesome, to be totally honest. I felt like I could run away from enemies all day and never get destroyed. So a pretty high-skill character there if you can pull it off, but one that's very rewarding to play.
Absolutely. So they're nearly through the end here right now. They're doing really well. Death's just behind them. They've got a couple more doors to go. The problem is there are so many monsters now. There's only a little bit of food to share between them.
In the back.
Okay, well, let's see if the Valkyrie can continue to increase her lead. Throughout this entire game, she's done a nice job of sitting out there, making sure that she's kind of at the head of the pack, but also navigating towards objectives. If you notice, the Valkyrie has been playing very greedy. I'll let my teammates deal with a couple of enemies. I'll go grab all the gold, and I'll clean up all the enemies that are very low. It's worked for her so far.
Absolutely, and she needs to capitalize on that. She was ahead on the first map. At the end of the 3 maps, the game will accumulate the 3 scores, and that will determine the winner. So she's got to keep that lead ahead of them, because the more she does, it will be easier for her if she does die or if Death does catch up with her.
And Death is literally on their doorstep right now as he advances forward. I like to think of this big pool of death that was sitting right on top of Merlin as sucking him into another dimension or something like that. A lot of characters are dying very quickly here, though, and I believe that everyone has experienced a death in the course of this game, so things should be pretty even at the moment.
Absolutely. Death is certainly causing a bit of a difficulty for these guys here. Another room, another block that's got to be unlocked, and another mummy that you have to get the key from, so very, very tough.
Keep that ground.
Okay, we'll see if they can make their way up above this jump pad here in just a second. They take a quick pit stop to snack some food. Oh, that was very critical for Thor, who was down to about a quarter of his health. Now regens back up to full and stands a much better chance in this game.
Kevin, who's leaving all this nice, tasty food around the dungeon? I don't know.
I don't know, and it's always so hot and fresh, and I need it so badly, but...
It must be the same guy who's lighting all the fires, right, and the candles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nice. I always want to know the unnamed person behind all of the dungeons in Gauntlet, to be honest.
Everyone loves a well-maintained Gauntlet. That's rule number 1, right?
Absolutely.
Otherwise you get no adventurers to come and join, you know.
All right, so Valkyrie once again at the lead here. Unfortunately, trapping the elf behind, very bad manner. Oh, it actually traps her into Death as Death spawns. So a bit of an unfortunate circumstance for our elf.
Absolutely, and that's the problem with the procedurally generated maps, that you don't know what's coming. You don't know where the end is. There's no way. I can't even tell you right now how far they are from the end, because I literally don't know. There could be some algorithm right now giving them an infinite dungeon, just sort of punishing them.
I hope it happens. We'll just stand here for about 12 hours and continuously commentate this one match.
I'd be very happy to do that. Lots and lots of deaths, which makes for a very, very fun game. But here they are, right at the exit. I'm looking forward to seeing the score. Who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think the winner is?
I gotta say the Valkyrie played the most aggressive and should have been rewarded for it, but we'll find out.
Absolutely. So Thyra again ahead. Very good.
Oh, wow. A dominating victory. That's 2 of 3 already for Scoots. And an incredibly dominating performance in this entire tournament so far.
Absolutely. I mean, whoever that player is has done really well. You know, used the character very, very well. And I'm really happy to see that you know, Thyra played well and dominating the scores. That's great.
And I gotta say, though, a big hand to the Elf there. The Elf was a bit behind in the previous round, was fairly significantly behind our leaders. This time, really jumps back up to the forefront and shows that the Elf is a character to be contended with.
Absolutely, and we're moving right now onto the challenge map. So this is where it's all really, you know, there's still points to play for, and there are lots of points. You'll see there's a lot of gold in this map, and a lot of monsters. So perfect opportunity for the rest.
So are we expecting a lot of high-risk play here? People that are just going to leap into a million enemies and hope they survive?
Who dares wins, I think, it should be the motto right here if I was playing as one of the other characters. See, there's lots of gold right from the beginning. They've got to go around, get the gold, and then worry about the monsters in a little bit is how I would do this map.
And interesting, Thor jumps in and steals food at full health right away, just ensuring that no one else can grab it. Valkyrie once again sneaks in there and steals it from the Elf, so the Elf is very low in health. Spawners appearing everywhere on the map, though.
Absolutely. I think there's a bit of a rookie error by the team there, Kevin. They've killed the food, or they've destroyed the food already. They've eaten the food already. I would not have done that, knowing how many monsters are going to be spawning in this map right now and making these adventurers' life hell.
Well, then we're going to see a lot of people die here in a second. So, we already have had one death, the Elf, who is actually back down at half health once again after just a couple of quick hits from some of the mummies. The Valkyrie is down to about a third of her health remaining. The Elf just has to stay out of the way, and unfortunately you can't do that on this map specifically, where you've got to get in there and you've got to start tangoing with those enemies.
So you'll see Thor's wearing the crown right now. He wants to keep that crown. He knows how valuable that crown is when it comes to points at the end of the game. He needs to keep hold of that. Unfortunately, like we've just seen there, easier said than done.
That's right. Once he gets hit, that crown will bounce away. He manages to re-grab it, though. He was very quick there in getting back on it. But unfortunately for him, if he gets hit again, that is going to duck away. Elf dies once again. That's actually 2 deaths in this match so far, and that's going to put her pretty far behind.
This is carnage. They have to take down the spawners. I can't stress that enough. The map does not, the game does not slow down spawning monsters. So if you don't take those monsters out, you're going to not be able to move for monsters in that room, unfortunately.
And a very smart play from Merlin there was getting trapped off to the side, puts up a shield to protect himself for a little bit and gets a bit closer to those spawners down in the bottom right-hand corner. Unfortunately for him, though, he just had 2 teammates die, so he couldn't actually assault the spawner.
Yep, and there's no tasty food left on the map either.
No.
No food. So, the other cool thing about this is the bloated mummies. We've mentioned those before, but you can use them on your side because when you trigger them to explode, they'll damage everything around them. That's mummies and spawners too. So tactical use of damaging them. You see where Merlin is right now at the bottom?
Ooh.
He's just died, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they are down to 2 spawners now, so the horde of enemies is slowly going to start making its way down. 3rd spawner falls, and we just have 1 remaining.
Absolutely, and here's Thyra's chance now. You know, look at that beautiful shield swing, taking an 80-kill combo right there, 112 points right there for doing all that damage. She's going to take down the last spawner. She is going to pick up the last remaining gold, and then she's going to go. No, there's still a mummy left. There he is, and Questor takes him down. Kill secured.
And there it is.
They missed the gold. They missed the gold. They missed the gold.
Oh, they just ran into the exit. That's going to give a huge advantage to Thor, who has that crown sitting on his head right now. That's going to be an extra 200 points. Is that going to be enough? It looks like it is.
The crown. The crown has put it through for Thor, which is excellent. However, I don't think it's enough, Kevin. I don't know.
I've got to say, Thyra had an incredibly dominating performance in the first 2 rounds here. Yes, a very nice valiant effort from Thor right there at the end, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Well, we need to see the final score. So if they click through to the next menu, we should be able to see what the final score is. And
whoa! There it is, Thyra in first place.
Yeah,
Scoots, Team Scoots wins 3 out of 3 matches already today with another dominating performance here at Gauntlet.
Well, that was exhilarating. I mean, watching that and casting it with you was such a pleasure. What a fantastic, fantastic way to see the game played.
Likewise, it was a pleasure being up here with you, but this game is obviously going to be coming out very soon, so where can people get their hands on it, and what should they be looking for?
Sure. So the game comes out on September 23rd. It's $20. 20 bucks, I believe you call it over here, right?
I spent at least 10 times that amount in quarters on the original arcade version, so that's a bargain to me.
Yeah, no quarters, no free-to-play shenanigans. It's $20. It's out on the 23rd. You can also, if you buy a 4-pack, if you've got 4 friends, get it for the price of 3 as well, which is pretty cool. And if you pre-order now, there's loads of in-game exclusive bonuses as well that you can get your hands on. It's on Steam, it's on PC exclusively, and you can play on controller or with your friends. So there's really no excuse not to, right?
Well, there you have it, and you saw how much fun it was up on the screen as well. It was a pleasure to cast, it was a pleasure to watch. Congratulations to Scoots once again for taking the event. So guys, we are going to run to a quick break, and once we get back, we're going to recap the tournament and start moving into our next elimination challenge. Don't go anywhere.